Hello everyone. I'm doing a quick, well not really quick, I'm doing a video on What is Anarchy by TestTube. Now, these people are liberals. I already know they're not going to have a good definition of what anarchism is. So without further ado, let's get into this.
Anarchy, the heart of the punk movement in the 70s and 80s, a driving force for civil wars and violent revolutions, a concept held in esteem by activists like Leo Tolstoy, Noam Chomsky, and Mahatma Gandhi.
Gandhi wasn't an anarchist.
So, what is it? Anarchy, very simply, is a state of being without any government or authority. The original...
No, there in fact is some authority, and there is a government, a government of the people. In fact, there is a Mikhail Bakunin quote which you can actually find rather easily, which he states in God and the State. Is it? Oh, fuck. I have God and the State next to me, but I don't want to flip through it. He says something along the lines of, does it follow that I reject all authority? Far from me such a thought. In the authority of boots, I refer to that of the bootmaker. In the authority of roads and homes, I refer to the authority of that of the architect or the architect of that of the architect or engineer. So no, anarchists do not reject all authority. That is in fact a quite common misconception. But I would expect you to know this if you're going to try and you have a video called What is Anarchy, but you're liberal, so I don't expect you to have a decent description of anarchism to begin with.
The concept of anarchy was born alongside and in response to the concepts of democracy and other political systems.
You can implement democracy in an anarchist society quite easily, actually, like very easily.
But it wasn't until later, around the 18th and 19th centuries, that modern anarchist philosophy was fully developed in Western countries. Following the French Revolution,
I should state the riots were a very big thing in anarchist call. In the anarchist, how should I put it? The anarchist society, I should say, since that founded a whole, well, it didn't found it, it started a whole holiday we have called May Day, which is coming up actually.
Anarchism gained prominence as a political alternative to theocracies or monarchies, and as an attempt to achieve total equality by eliminating authoritarian roles. However, as Noam Chomsky and other academics have admitted, it is somewhat of...
I agree that anarchism is formed as an utopian. I actually do not know if Noam Chomsky actually said that or not.
An unrealistic utopian theory.
It's not a utopian theory, like, at all. Yes, some people will believe it's fucking, what should I say? It's not practical, which, if you read Are We Good Enough by Peter Kropotkin, you will actually know why that's bullshit. I'm not going to go through the hour it would take me to describe everything, so I will link an audiobook of Are We Good Enough in the description below.
Forms of modern anarchy are political ideologies that hold the government responsible for the world's problems. Because
once again, you're using government and state as synonymous, which are not. Say state. We're not saying a government is bad. We're saying the state is bad.
There are many forms of state control. There are many different forms of anarchy. For example, anarcho-feminism says that hierarchies of the state lead to patriarchy, which...
No, see, you use state there, but you don't use state anywhere else where you should have. So you clearly know we're against the state, not just government in general.
Leads to oppression. Green anarchism states that environmental exploitation is a result of capitalist government policy. And despite the violence commonly associated with anarchy, anarcho-pacifism holds that it is the state that creates unnecessary political violence and should therefore be abolished. In fact,
I like how you completely ignore anarcho-communism. Like, a very large sect of the anarchist ideology, you completely ignore it. You don't at all say, yeah, oh, by the way, anarcho-communism possibly one of the biggest sects of anarchism out there, just let you know. No, but then again, you made a previous video called What is Communism, which if you stated that, it would completely contradict everything you said in that video.
Violence is not an intrinsic part of modern anarchism, as many believe. Tolstoy and Gandhi specifically petitioned.
Gandhi's not an anarchist. Leo Tolstoy was I believe, founded anarcho-Christianity, Christian anarchism, which is not really anarchistic, since Jesus himself was not a very anarchist person.
Against all forms of violence. And Chomsky has said that, quote, anarchy is not people running around the streets breaking store windows. It's a conception of a very organized society with as little control as is feasible.
And Noam Chomsky said that in relation to the idea that anarchists just want complete and total chaos, like a lot of fucking liberals think. And in fact, I got into several arguments with liberals and conservatives alike saying, anarchy is just chaos, guys, come on. But no, it's not. Chaos is chaos. Anarchy is something completely different. It's just been used as a synonym for chaos because there aren't any, there's no rigid form of hierarchy just cause. There's no illegitimate hierarchy, I should say. So that's why people are using it as a synonym for chaos.
While violence is still controversially used by some groups of anarchists in order to destroy systems of government, many anarchists renounce it. A lot of people would...
Actually, not all. Actually, very few anarchists renounce it. Anarcho-primitivists, which are really stupid, but they agree that a lot of them agree that violence is necessary to overthrow modern civilization and go back to a primitive hunter-gatherer society. Anarcho-communists fucking definitely do not support quote-unquote peaceful revolution and do think violent revolution is necessary in order to achieve a communist society. And mutualists, I don't know a lot about mutualist thought, so I can't really say, but I do believe, I'm not really sure if mutualists support a violent revolution or not, so I can't comment.
Agree that anarchism is a good idea in theory because it promotes both freedom and egalitarianism. However, in practice, it would be difficult to perfect. As Chomsky explains, anarchy...
Real quick, here's the thing, that's a really big on-paper argument. Like, oh, it looks good in theory, but not... It looks good on paper, but not in practice. No, it's fucking bullshit.
Is a response to oppressive political movements rather than as a standalone system of government.
Anarchism without adjectives, you cannot really be implemented in itself. There needs to be several other types. There has to be at least some other system with it. Like anarcho-communism is one thing. You can implement anarcho-communism. You can't implement just plain anarchism. To my knowledge, you can't. Anarcho-mutualism, you need the mutualist aspect, not just the anarchist aspect. You cannot, it's like Marxism. You need Leninism to implement Marxism, much like you need some other form of system to implement at the anarchist portion.
Democracy is another theory that is often more hard to understand than you might think. To learn more about what democracy really looks like, check out our video here.
The concept of democracy is simple.
Okay, I'm gonna cut it off there. So, yeah, this seems like a pretty liberal thing. They say Gandhi was an anarchist, which he wasn't. He fucking talked to the Nazis for aid. It's a very un-anarchist thing to do. And he was also, I believe he was also racist at the time. Racist. He was also racist. He had some sexist ideals. I believe he wasn't an anarchist. They also believe that you can somehow implement fucking anarchism in its own right, which you can't. To my knowledge, you can't. So, yeah, that's about it for this video. Thank you and goodbye.